Good morning, good evening. First of all, you shout out to Uma, Subramaniam, Aparna Sundar, two people who have always inspired, two ladies who have inspired me, and also along with my mother. And so a lot of female people in my corporate personal life have inspired me a lot. So always a good time to chat with Uma and learn from her a lot. Moving on for today's session, I think the one thing which I've been learning a lot is that about myself with the blessings of the divine and my teachers is that there is very important when I say my, I, how do we position these words? That is where I've come to know about this great man, which actually brought together both different parts of the world. Let me start a story which Swami Vivekananda shared. So he says that there was a lioness. She gives birth to a lion, a son lion, a young lion, of course. And while giving the birth to this young lion cub, she dies. She's gone. Now, this small lion, the cub, basically gets a group of sheep in the jungle, in the forest. And therefore, all the sheep raise the cub, raise the little lion as if he was their own. And the lion now starts to eat like the sheep. The little lion starts to drink water like the sheep. The little lion starts to move around in the jungle slash forest like a sheep. So, therefore, even though it's a lion, it starts to assume and move ahead if it's a sheep. Now, one day, very interesting thing happens. A big lion comes near the group of the sheep. And once the big lion comes in, all the sheep are scattered. They're absolutely feared because they've seen a lion coming. And the interesting part, though, which the big lion sees, is that even though the sheep are fearing, that should be fine, that is expected. But even the little lion, the cub, also starts getting feared. And therefore, that big lion takes that cub, the small lion, and takes it to a near water body and shows the cub its reflection in the water body. And for the first time in the life, the cub realizes and is made to realize that he is not a sheep, even though it has been thinking of itself as a sheep, but it is actually a lion. What Swami Vivekananda ji intends to share or give us a message is that we are that lion. Every human, every individual born here in this planet Earth is that like of a cub. We're all born like a lion, and therefore we should not be feared of any fears. We should not fear of no matter how big the fear looks like. That's what the essential message is. And the next thing which Swami Vivekananda teaches us is how strong we are. We talk about equality. His message is very powerful. Swami Vivekananda says, what is education? He says education is the manifestation of the perfection already present in. Therefore, the man does not need to become perfect. He or she is already perfect. They've forgotten the strength, just like the lion forgot his strength and assumed itself to be a sheep. Such a strong message to think about. No wonder when Swami Vivekananda went to the West and gave his famous speech on 11th of September 1893 in the World Parliament of Religions. That day, even after 125 odd years, is still celebrated the World Brotherhood Day. It gives us a lot of leadership lesson when life is hard, when life is difficult, how all we could manage. When Swami Vivekananda went to the West and America from India, he didn't have money to eat, he didn't have money to drink, money to sleep. He used to sleep on the blank, on the railway wagons, on the railway tracks, wherever he could get some space. Once, when Swami Vivekananda was traveling by a train, he met with a Harvard professor who was teaching Greece. His name was Mr. Wright at that time, teaching as a Harvard professor. And he had a talk with Swami Vivekananda for 4 hours. Swami Vivekananda at that moment of time wanted to speak at the World Parliament of Religions, but didn't have any invitation to speak there. So he was wanting to understand how does the invitation to speak at the World Parliament of Religions come. So then Mr. Wright said about Swami Vivekananda after discussing for 4 hours with him. He wrote a letter to the World Parliament of Religions and said, here is this man, this Swami, who is more intelligent than all the professions combined together. And then he said to Swamiji, giving you the permission to speak at the World Parliament of Religions is like giving the permission to sun to rise in the morning. That is how one man who might not be having a lot of materialistic pleasure, strength, all these materialistic things which we aim for, how that one man can revolutionize the world. That is what I've been learning to understand. Because for me, the more I started to gain with the blessings of the divinity, I started to become more arrogant. So the more success comes in, the more arrogance comes in. The more arrogance comes in, immediately success starts to drift away. So therefore, success in a way takes away the success. And then if you get failures, then you get demotivated. So very interestingly, more success is also not happy for me, and even less success is not happy for me. So I started to understand, how do I position myself? How do I define myself in a way that I don't become arrogant when I get some taste of success, and I don't get demotivated when I'm not getting the way in which things are supposed to get it done. That is where I came to this definition. Swami Vivekananda says how we should be positioned is like we should be positioning ourselves like that of the servant. As in India, we call it a das of the United States, a servant of our nation. So when we consider ourselves to be a servant of something, we don't allow overconfidence or arrogance to creep in, because we are essentially a servant. And then because we connect ourselves to a great nation like America, India, or whatever our motherlands are, then that motherland very much gives us the power. So you're never underconfident because you have such a great nation to give you strength. And you never become arrogant because you understand you're just a servant. And the divine power, the infinite power, is helping you do a lot of work. So with that, I'll take a pause at this moment of time and thank Aparna Sundar for this opportunity. Over to you, Ma.